the most ideal conditions for a spring game, but it was good to wrap up your opportunities with a night under the lights.
Yeah, no, it's been a wet spring, so we've been inside a bunch. But yeah, so it rained. It was wet. It was a little windy, but we play football any chance we get, any time of year that they'll let us in any weather. So our guys had a blast, yeah. Anytime we're playing football, and we drafted teams, and so it was a green versus white and an actual game, and I think they had a lot of fun.
So we had Russ in here earlier. He talked about his planning on why he drafted it as is. Speed was how he said it went. How do you think their drafting styles?
I wasn't there for the draft. Coaches, we tried to break up the position groups evenly, and then those guys got to choose, which one that they wanted. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty close game. So I think it ended up being pretty good. It was fun.
Obviously, a couple of new quarterbacks had to come in the fray. He rotated a bunch of them,
Taylor Powell, yeah. Yeah.
Taylor and Cameron Coy showed up his leg. Austin Smith got a little bit more reps than he got this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
About that position group, how do you feel about the progress that they've shown this spring?
Well, like you said, it's a new group, and there are guys who were here, last year, but who weren't playing. And so we've had a really good spring in terms of our quarterback development. There's no question. Austin got here a year ago in January, so was here all year, but played, I think, in the Texas State game, a series, and so he was the guy who was the most familiar with our offense, and probably had the most playing time of our returning quarterbacks, and he's had a good spring for sure. Taylor Powell is the transfer from Troy and Missouri that got here in January, and he's had a really good spring. Crazy how quickly he's picked up, our offense and is able to execute it. And then Cam, like Austin, came in January. So he's a freshman that got here in January, has a crazy strong arm. But like all freshmen, is learning and trying to pick it all up. And then Chris Kaminsky and Baron May, got snaps out there as well today.
Yeah, and Chris obviously had the first long touchdown pass of the day that got everybody on that play after there. So that was really good to see out of him too.
Absolutely, yeah, it was a great ball.
But even with the newcomers, they are coming into a group where there is a standard and expectation level from the returning groups at various different positions, like wide receivers, like the quarterbacks, those are throwing the guys that know the routes.
Yep.
So guys in front of them who are blocking for them, a bunch of them have been around for a few years.
Yep.
What's it been like? And for defense too, you can kind of see that the linebackers, corners. How has it been kind of gel all these new pieces together into this team, and seeing the team that you've been leading for the past, it's been 8 years, right?
8 years, yeah. Yep.
How's it been seeing hey, now that 8 years in, there's the culture and standard that the players are taking care of? How has that been able to see you guys?
Yeah, I think that our culture is super strong. Super strong. Our guys, are our culture, and we recruit great young men, and they run the program as much as anybody, and really proud of how they're doing that. And then the football piece that goes with it is we do have a bunch of guys who are returning. We do have, good experience. And part of our culture is when new guys come, they're immediately accepted. It doesn't take long because they know that we're recruiting good people, and our guys I'm telling you, they wrap their arm around them and start teaching them, our defense and our offense, and just really bring them into the fold immediately. And so that gives a guy a chance to learn quickly and, throw his hat in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I would have been here for the past other 14 practices and not lived an hour away, I would know, but have you been able to see a lot of improvement with this team over the past 15 practices, or has it been kind of stagnant since where you guys left off last season? What's your view on the team?
Yeah, we definitely improved. No, there's no question that we've improved. I would say we don't have a huge influx, of new guys. But we do have like 2 transfer linebackers, and I think that they've come a real long way. And obviously at quarterback, those are a couple positions where we had guys come in, at the semester. And so there's massive improvement there. We're definitely going to need the summer, and we still have our class that's coming in, and maybe a couple guys that potentially transfers that are going to come and help us as well. But I really like where we're at and where we're headed.
Now, like looking forward to like when the summer comes up, there's still like a part of the team where like there's like going to be like a prove-it period before like the start of the season comes up, where like you'll talk about like where your team's at.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything's competitive, always. I mean, if you have returning starters that have really produced and all that, obviously it's really tough to knock those guys, out of a starting spot or something like that. But, both of our specialists, are gone, and we've got a good group, but that's going to be really competitive, I think. And, at our tight end group, both Thomas Odukoye and Bryson Cannon are gone. And, one of the things when you asked about the improvement and stuff too, is that we've got a lot of guys that have been out, not out for the season, but, just missed all or part of spring ball. And that's allowed for some of the younger guys or the new guys to get reps too. And, when those guys are getting healthy and back in the summer, it's really going to be a positive influx.
One guy I kind of wanted to point out really quickly that I saw, the kicker, Jesus Gomez, against these elements that the offensive defense had to play in, he drilled a 53-yarder to start that spring game. And, what's he like? Is that like a normal kicking distance for him? Can you do a little bit further?
Oh, he can. Yeah. I mean, it was windy and wet and cold, and he did miss one. But yeah, he's very good. We thought it was probably going to be a year away, but when that opportunity came up, we knew that he was going to be ready and is going to be really, really good. Now he'll have some competition. Right now, he's our only kicker. But that won't be the case, when the summer comes. And, we've been really good on special teams for a while now, put a lot into it. Our team, that's part of our culture. And obviously it always starts with specialists, but, there's 11 guys out there on every special teams play. And, so it's going to be competitive. It's going to be competitive. We got to get back to where we were last year.
Sure. Obviously, talent can play with culture as to what is it about this group, attribute-wise, that you see that leads you to believe that they might be able to break into the 8-9 victory count? What are the things they do well that could lead that to happen?
Well, culture-wise, I mean, they care about each other. They love football. They love the school, and they care about each other, and that goes a long way. It goes a long way, both on and off the field. Like nothing's ever perfect. I never want to say that it is, but our guys do genuinely, deeply care about each other, and are so determined, to make this program special. And so I think those are some of the attributes that are going to carry us, a long way.
And what are the things that you hope your guys can work on in the next 3 months on the summer camp? You say, hey, we really made some strides. What are those things?
Yeah, I mean, football, so, obviously our quarterback situation, we had 2 guys that we felt really good about at the end of last season. Both had eligibility left. Neither of those guys are here. So, it's a pretty important position. And we feel, we really feel good about the guys that we have and how they're doing. But, anytime you're taking somebody new, first snaps, under center or behind center, that position is so critical, that those guys are going to have to show up and play really well. Defensively, we lost more pieces to graduation than we did offensively. Again, our 2 transfer linebackers, our linebacker room is arguably as good as we've had in our 8 years. Our safety situation, we do have some guys banged up, but when we talk about Blake Bogan being a senior and Russ Vaden being a senior, and now Brandon Benson, who was going to be a senior last year, is going to get a full year in our program and then be playing out there. And then we have some young safeties that, have really developed. So we think that has a chance to be really strong. Or two guys who started at corner are going to be back and need to bolster that up some. And then, with Turan and a couple of our interior guys graduating, Jose Ramirez is a force. And then, with Mikey Haney and Micah Coleman coming up, and then our interior guys. Yeah, I mean, it's just we've got pieces and they've all got to continue to grow and develop. I will say that our strength and conditioning has been excellent this winter and spring under the direction of Coach Mack. And so really looking forward, we see some tangible differences this spring from the winter and are expecting to see the same this summer as well.
Do you think the ability to have a full season buffered by another full season being a help? Because it had to be tough to have a half season, play in front of nobody, thrown together at the last minute, and then try and put together another full season that we really wasn't sure. And now I think there's some certainty that, hey, this is going again, and this has got to help your program.
Yeah. Last year, we didn't have any uncertainty about last year. The COVID year, we certainly did and had the half season, like you said. But
the prep time wasn't there.
Yeah, it was there, but it was altered and halted. It was definitely not consistent. We started in January and then there were stoppages and guys were out and all that. So you're right. It was, and that did affect us going into the spring because we didn't get the winter that you would have liked to have had. But by NCAA rule and all that, we were allowed to. It just, COVID hit us last winter.
It's just one for me. Wind, cold, rain coming down, and there was still a really nice contingent of fans in the stands today. A lot of recruits that came out.
Yeah.
I know you won't take credit for building that here at Eastern Michigan, and you want to give that to the people who have helped in the program, especially your players. But as you go into year 9 here, how important is that for the team to continue to see that in a day like today, where it is a spring game, it's not a regular season game, and they still showed up and showed up?
No doubt. I mean, we had the combo. We had the north? It's probably not called the north end zone, but that's what I would call it. Full. Yeah, with the families and we had a great group here. We had our incoming signees were here as well, and their families, the folks that are going to be here in June. And that went really well. It's a really good group that we're excited about. And had alumni come back. So yeah, I mean, it was cold out there. It was wet and rainy, but there were people here to support the Eagles and to check us out, and got a lot of good feedback.